Yes, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first lecture of CA Final Audit regular course in 100% English. So myself, I am CA Pragnesh Kanabar. Although you would have researched about me before joining these lectures, but still just give me 1 minute to explain about myself. So in the number of year wise, I am in the 10th year of my coaching experience. Then when I talk about number of hours every year, I think I am not teaching for less than 2000 or 3000 hours. So that is, you can understand the amount of experience that I have at CA final and CA interlevel both. My students have scored all India first in CA final and CA interlevel both when it comes to audit subject, not just one times, but in total 4 times. And we have had many 70 plus, 80 plus scores at CA final and CA interlevel. The feedback is there on my YouTube channel. You can check it from there. We have students from India, Nepal, Dubai, all right. And our base is always expanding with the love of the students. But why do I have so much of experience and why do I have so many students with me? Because I am a no-nonsense professor focusing purely on the content of the subject and delivering the maximum quality to the students. You will see that when the lecture goes on. All right. So you have enrolled for CA Final Audit regular course in 100% English language delivery. Now, let me address few questions before I start with this particular course. So currently today is 3rd January 2023. Why I am saying this? So that this particular date should be recorded in this recorded video itself. All right. Even though it's a live session, we are recording it for future reference. So I want this date to be recorded. That is 3rd January 2023. Now, why I am using this date? So that, every single student who is having attempt from here on, will have multiple questions and I need to address those questions. All right. So what are the questions in your mind when you are attending a course which starts from 3rd January 2023? There may be multiple students. One who have their attempt in May 23, one who have their attempt in November 23. I think November 23 is forming majority in the audience, and the others who have their CA final attempt from May 24 onwards. Okay, so I will be having these 3 categories of students currently listening to me or seeing this particular video. Now, if you know that there are so many things going on, in the CA final syllabus, we are expecting some major changes. All right. And although everything is ready, but the official notification is yet to be issued. But thanks to my dear friends in the council and thanks to my dear friends in the teaching industry, I have a verified 100% confident information with respect to audit subject. All right. So I cannot comment upon other subjects, but for sure I will be able to comment in a very confident manner when it comes to audit subject, what is going to happen. All right. So when it comes to CA final audit, currently the syllabus that is uploaded on the ICAI website, they are continuing with the modules which they updated in May 22 attempt. And currently that is the syllabus which has been uploaded. And that syllabus is fixed for May 23 students. All right. From November 23 attempt onwards, so whatever is the syllabus uploaded as of now, May 22 onwards syllabus is uploaded, and there are around 18 topics in it. All right. Now, when it comes to November 23 attempt onwards, I mean November 23 attempt, let me specifically talk about November 23 attempt. We are expecting 99% that the new syllabus will be applicable. Only that 1% chance remains that if the ministers do not notify that or do not approve the new syllabus in January or maximum by 2nd week of February, and once the March month starts, then I don't think they can make new syllabus applicable. All right. So there is a 99% probability that new syllabus will be applicable for November 23 attempt. And from May 24 attempt onwards, there is 100% surety that the new syllabus will be applicable. All right. Now, in the existing syllabus, there are 18 topics, correct? And let me give you a little bit of bifurcation of that so that I can talk in a very nice manner and in a very clear manner with you. Okay. So the current syllabus of your paper 3, that is advanced auditing and professional ethics. Okay. That is the name of the subject, advanced auditing and professional ethics. Your syllabus, which is currently uploaded on the ICAI website, gets divided into 4 parts. All right. One is auditing and assurance standards. Second is professional ethics. Third is a company audit and related topics. And fourth is audit of various entities and some special audit assignments. In fact, let me pull up the current ICAI syllabus for you and let me show it to you live. All right. That what are the changes that we are expecting and how we are going to go about in this particular course. All right. I just request your patience for 30 seconds. So as on 3rd January 2023, I'm logging into this particular website. This is sounding more like a vlog, but yes, it is necessary for the clarity of the students. You know, many professors are not mentioning the date when the lecture is being recorded, and because of that, students are never aware about the updation of the lectures. So I just clicked on the current syllabus, which is uploaded on the ICAI website. All right, and you see, as I told you, there are 18 topics. Okay. Now, what will be the changes and how we'll go about with this particular course? I will just tell you, just give me 5 minutes or so. And we are now on this, our notes. So auditing and assurance standards. All right. So the current syllabus is 35 essays plus 1 SQC. That is standards on quality control. And this covers 4 chapters from the ICAI module. I'll show it to you. As you can see, Chapter 1, Auditing and Assurance Standards and Guidance Note. Chapter 2, Audit Planning, Strategy, Execution and stuff. Yeah. Chapter 3, Risk Assessment and Internal Control. Chapter 6, Audit Report. Correct. So these are the 4 chapters. And these 4 chapters plus, if you see over here, auditing pronouncements, the bare standards. All right. So these 4 chapters plus the bare standards, the existing syllabus stands at 35 essays plus 1 SQC. Okay. Now, what are the changes that we are expecting over here? There are total 38 essays. Out of that, 35 are already there in the existing syllabus. So 3 essays will be added. Plus, they will also add 2 SRE plus 3 SAE plus 2 SRS. All right. So we are expecting around 10 standards which will be added, which makes the whole topic of auditing and assurance standards. Sir, what is this SRE, SA, SRS? Wait, I'm yet to give you the introduction of every single particular chapter. All right, so relax. I am as of now trying to summarize and explain you what will be the changes in the syllabus. So we are understanding that we understood one point, that when it comes to auditing and assurance standards, so currently there are 35 essays plus 1 SQC and 10 standards will be added. So nothing is going to be deleted from these standards. So tell me, my friends, can I say that the books that you have received, from my side, currently is nothing but the topic of standards? So till the time we complete these 35 essays and one SQC, irrespective of your attempt, whether it is May 23, November 23, May 24, whatever is your attempt, tell me whether you should be worried about the lectures and the updation. No, sir. Because 35 standards and one SQC, no matter whichever attempt you have to go for these particular topics. All right. Okay. How I will deal with the additions and stuff, that I will let you know. Wait. Then the second topic is professional ethics. Okay. Now this sounds like a very theory topic, but this is the most interesting topic of your syllabus. Yes. It is nothing but do's and don'ts of a chartered accountant, which is based upon Chartered Accountants Act 1949, Chartered Accountants Regulations 1988, Council guidelines and stuff. And this topic gives you 16 marks in your syllabus. And this is one of the most interesting topic because you can score 16 on 16 and it is completely case study based. All right. So there is no boring theory over here. All right. So this topic, congratulations, remains unchanged. First of all, this covers one chapter from the ICM module, but that chapter itself is like a subject. You know, it is a 150 pages topic, right? And there is no change in this particular topic. Okay. Now, company audit and related topics. Let me talk about this company audit and related topics. So when it comes to company audit and related topics, obviously we are talking about Companies Act 2013. Now let us understand how many topics are there when it comes to the chapter of company audit. Okay. This is the existing syllabus which has been uploaded. So you have this chapter of company audit. Okay. Now this particular topic covers section 139 to section 148 of Companies Act 2013. Plus it also covers CARO 2020. Plus it also covers some discussions from section 128 to section 137 of Companies Act 2013, which deals with accounts of the company and stuff. Okay, so these many things are covered over here in this topic of company audit. Then you see this audit of consolidated financial statements, audit of consolidated financial statements. Yes, sir. So this also talks about consolidation of financial statement based upon Companies Act. Okay, so I will name this particular topic also audit of consolidated financial statements. Then you have this particular topic, which is named as over here. Yeah. Audit committee and corporate governance. Audit committee and corporate governance. Again, it covers section 177 of Companies Act and SEBI LODR guidelines and stuff. All right. Then what else do we have when it comes to company audit? Nothing more. Nothing more. Okay. So these topics that I just wrote over here, these are dealing with company audit and related topics. Now there are some major changes over here. Listen to me very, very carefully. So in the new syllabus, they are going to delete company audit chapter and the chapter of audit committee and corporate governance. So to be very, very specific, all right, this section 139 to 148, then most of the sections from 128 to 137. Sir, why are you using the phrase most of the sections? One or two sections will come in this topic of audit of CFS. Otherwise, most of the sections from 128 to 137 and this audit committee and corporate governance, these topics are going to be deleted. All right. So one of the scoring topic of company audit, which you studied at inter-CA level. See, that logic is because you have studied most of these things at inter-CA level. And this particular thing, audit committee and corporate governance, they are going to put it in law subject in that self-paced module you have over there. I'm talking about the new syllabus, which is the proposed new syllabus. So that is why they are deleting most of these things from final CA syllabus. Obviously, CARO 2020 still remains, and audit of CFS, that is consolidated financial statement, still remains. 1 or 2 paragraph minor changes will be changed in that audit of CFS. Otherwise, most of the things will still remain. All right. Now, when it comes to audit of various entities and special audit assignments, let me just say that all the remaining topics are covered over here. Okay. All right. Let me just show it to you properly. So all the remaining topics. Okay. Now tell me, chapter 1, 2, and 3, I covered in standards. Chapter 5, I've talked about that, company audit. Chapter 6, I covered in standards. So which topic remains over here? Special aspects of auditing in automated environment. This is still there. All right. Then you have this audit of banks, audit of insurance, audit of NBFC, tax audit. Then you have audit of PSU, liabilities of auditor, internal management and operational audit, investigation, due diligence, forensic audit, peer review, quality review. My God. So all the balance topics, I cover it in the last part, that is audit of various entities and other special audit assignments. So let me just give it to you, tell it to you in short, that what are the changes that we are expecting over here. In these remaining topics, let me first talk about the deletions. Audit of insurance topic will be deleted. Tax audit chapter will be deleted. Peer review will be deleted. Quality review will be deleted. And there are 2 small topics like environment audit and ESG and stuff. Those things are getting prominence in the market now, which will be added. All right. And then there are some minor changes in other topics, 1 or 2 paragraphs here and there, that we are expecting to change. Okay. So now listen to me, everyone. I'm revising one more time the things that are going to change. All right. So that there is no confusion. In the existing syllabus, which is for sure applicable for May 23 attempt, correct? Which is for sure applicable for May 23 attempt. We have auditing and assurance standards, 35 essays plus 1 SQC. In the proposed new syllabus, which is 99% probable that will be applicable from November 23 attempt onwards, we are expecting around 10 standards to be added. Professional ethics chapter, which is a 16 marks chapter, even in the old syllabus or new syllabus, right, remains the same. And that is one of the greatest news for the students. So do's and don'ts of chartered accountant. All right. Professional ethics chapter, the lengthiest topic, but the most interesting one. In company audit and related topics, we have deletion of company audit and audit committee and corporate governance topic. Some sections and CARO 2020 is still there. In all the remaining topics, we have deletions of audit of insurance, tax audit, peer review, quality review. And we have additions of 2 small topics which are proposed in the new syllabus. So what am I going to do with you? All right. First of all, I have just couriered you. I have just sent you my standards ka books. So my books are divided into 2 parts. First, let me explain this. My books are divided into 2 parts. Part 1 is all about standards on auditing. And part 2 is non-essay. So all other topics apart from standards. So part 1 essay has the content and the question bank. And part 2 non-essay has content and the question bank. And then there is a separate MCQ book, which is issued attempt wise to the students, because there are few changes in every attempt. So I want my MCQ book which is the last communication from my side to the students. All right. So that all the amended questions are also covered over there. Okay. Now what I have done is, while starting this batch, I have just couriered you this book, which is the safest to start with. Correct. So 35 essays plus 1 SQC you will find inside this book. All right. And the other 10 standards. Whenever the official notification comes out, obviously, I will be sharing those notes and videos and sessions and everything with you. Let me give you one basic approach. So I am going to go as per the existing syllabus. All right. Wait. But the topics that are going to be deleted in the existing syllabus. All right. The topics that are going to be deleted from the existing syllabus. All right. And for the minor population of May 23, which is attending these lectures, I will share the recorded videos of these topics in advance, so that May 23 students can start their preparation for the topics which are going to be deleted. The topics which are going to be deleted will not be discussed in the live session for all the students, correct? Because there are so many students from November 23, May 24 attempt who need not go through those topics which are going to be deleted. And for all the additions, when the batch is going on, if the notification comes out, then I will take it in the live sessions. Even if the batch is over, for all the additions later on, whenever the official notification comes out, I will be taking the live sessions and I will be covering it. So I am giving it in writing to you what I'm going to do with you. All right. For the changes, for the topics which are going to be deleted, I will share the recorded videos, which are the latest videos, so that May 23 students can do it. All right. For the topics and the stuff that is going to be added, all right, I will take live sessions, plus I will also share the recorded videos of these live sessions. And plus, in every single page that I have communicated with you, whatever will be the changes, I will mark it for every single page and I will share the soft copies with you. Okay. So total 100 rupees will be the printing cost. If you want, then I will refund it to you. Don't worry. All right. But you know what? It will be a faster communication from my side if I share the soft copies with you. And every single change will be taught to you, in the live sessions, and it will also be given as a recorded video. But what I am little disappointed is with that students are not starting their preparation, waiting for the new syllabus, that okay, the new syllabus will come at that point of time, we will start the preparation and stuff. All right, you cannot wait. And I'm so happy that so many of you have taken the initiative to start your preparations. And that is the thing that I want. All right. Because we understand that if I want to give you percentage wise, then around 15 to 20% things in audit are changing. Otherwise, 80% of the syllabus remains the same. All right. So when it comes to the books, as of 3rd January 2023, which is the first lecture today, what we are doing it, I have communicated and I have delivered part 1 essay books to you. For the students who have taken late, who have enrolled late, will be getting those books in a couple of days or 3 days. But I've given part 1 essay books to you. And then later on, I will courier part 2 non-essay. So around part 1 essay will go on till, let us say, 25 lectures or so. All right. When I say 25 lectures, I'm saying it 25 into 2.5 hours or so. So in Sunday, if we are able to take more lectures, correct? So let us a long lecture, then this 25 comes down to 23, 22, or even 20, correct? And the balance lectures will be for non-essay. So non-essay will have more number of lectures also, because more number of Sundays will also come in non-essay part. So I am waiting for more 15 days or so, that if at all they come up with some notification, then I'm going to sit for 22 hours out of 24 hours and I will be updating the books and sending it to you. However, by the time we are near to the completion of essay syllabus, if there is no notification from the ICAI, then I will send you the existing non-essay books with whatever are the latest amendments, if any, for the existing syllabus. I will send you the latest non-essay books, and then later on, for all the additions or deletions, we will have separate lectures. So I want a confirmation from everyone. Are you understanding how we are going to cover it up? Whether you are May 23, November 23, May 24 does not matter. I want a confirmation from everyone over here. Yes? Okay. All right. All right. So I've got a confirmation that there are no confusions. I'm being very simple and clear over here. May 23 has no confusion. November 23 onwards, if you continue with the existing syllabus, whether they give you the option of conversion or not, whatever it is, correct. Let us say if you continue with the existing syllabus, then you already have videos of audit subject. You don't have to worry about any changes apart from the RTP. All right. And if at all, when you go shift to the new syllabus and for whatever other changes, we will have live sessions. There will be T+15. So today, if the notification comes out within next 15 days, I'll be arranging live sessions and we will go through the amendments. Keep it very simple. All right. But as of now, every single live session, every student has to attend because I am going to do the common syllabus between the old and the new, whatever it is. All right. So everyone has to attend. As simple as that. Every single lecture, everyone has to attend. Very simple for you. Okay. Now, let us start with the very first discussion. All right. Normally to convert the admissions, all right, professors, no matter whoever it is, but professors normally start with this topic of professional ethics. It is a very glamorous topic. All right. But I want to keep it at a later stage because in order to understand the topic of professional ethics, it is so important that as a chartered accountant, you understand what are your duties when it comes to auditing and assurance standards. Because if you violate this, then you will be held guilty, under the topic of professional ethics. So if a professor genuinely goes by the concept, then in that case, you should finish off the topic of auditing and assurance standards first. And that is the safest thing to do. As of now, keeping the syllabus also in mind. So everyone, please take a fresh page. Please take a fresh page. Okay. And sir, weightage of the topics. Weightage of as and when I take the topic, I will give it to you. Don't worry. Okay. Please take the fresh page and give the title. We will have a lots of writing practice. Huh? And after every 5-6 lectures, we will have unit test also. All right. So there are lots of things that we are going to do. If you participate, trust me, you will be most confident in audit subject. You will fear from other subjects. All right. So auditing and assurance standards. Now, in the existing syllabus, that is in May 23, in the existing syllabus, expect the weightage of this topic to be around 30 marks. And 30 marks, somehow they always try to test considering the MCQs and everything combined. At least 30 marks impact of auditing and assurance standards is always there. And you should be more worried because it is also there in the compulsory questions. Correct. Now, when it comes to November 23 attempt onwards, so I'm talking about new syllabus. Currently, I'm assuming that they will make it applicable from November 23 attempt onwards. Then in that case, the weightage shoots to 45 marks. If you see their proposed draft, it is 45 to 55%, correct? So around, let us say 45 marks. So only a fool is going to ignore this topic. Otherwise, obviously, you should be very much interested in these topics. And you know what? Whether it is old syllabus or new syllabus does not matter. They have given this topic level 2 and level 3 difficulty level. You know what is level 2 and level 3 difficulty level? Where they will ask you application based question, case study based question, and they will connect various topics and they will ask the question. I will exactly prepare you for that. So do not worry at all. We are expecting November 22 results in some time. However, in May 22, we got multiple students who scored 75, 77, 74. All right. Although we missed that All India first audit by few marks, but I'm hopeful in November 22 we get it. So auditing and assurance standards. Okay, everyone needs to be ready for this. Do not take it lightly. At inter-say level, even if you kept this topic a little bit in option and you prepared in a little bit average manner, still you would have gone through, with the inter-say level, but that will not be the case at final say level. So everyone needs to show some energy for auditing and assurance standards. Yes. So tell me, who brought this topic here? The ICAI. All the innovative, frustrating, remunerative, every single emotion starts from the ICAI in your life. So the ICAI, that has established a board called as AASB. That is Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. Yes, start writing, everyone. Start writing. Otherwise, you will feel sleepy. All right. You need to keep on writing. That is the only way to go through the lecture. The ICAI has established AASB, Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. Okay. Now AASB, they have developed AAS. That is Auditing and Assurance Standards. Okay. Now these Auditing and Assurance Standards are also called as Engagement and Quality Control Standards. These Auditing and Assurance Standards are also called as Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Sir, what if due to network issues we miss out on these notes and stuff? Don't worry, I will be uploading these notes. You will have the access to it. But still, keep on writing. If you do not write, you will not have the practice. Okay. So Auditing and Assurance Standards are collectively known as Engagement and Quality Control Standards. These Engagement and Quality Control Standards are divided into 5 parts: SQC, SA, SRE, SAE, and SRS. Please divide it into 5 parts: SQC, SA, SRE, SAE, SRS. Okay. So what is the first thing that we will do? We will just write the full form. Then we will discuss. Okay. Write down, everyone. Professors and students fear this particular topic, and this is one of my favorite standards. I love and enjoy to teach this topic. Standards on quality control. Standards on quality control. SA. Standards on auditing. SRE. Standards on review engagement. SAE. Standards on assurance engagement. SRS. Standards on related services. See, if I am going fast and if you're not able to complete notes with me, you have to type W in the chat box. W stands for wait. All right, then I will wait for you. Okay. So please write the full form, everyone. So we have just written the full form, correct? Now, for each particular category, we need to understand why this category has come up. All right. So we are going to write the purpose, the objective of this category. Arey yaar, everyone understands this, standards on quality control. These standards on quality control are just like parents, irrespective of number of children. Correct? Their instructions are the same. See, you should not talk in this bad language. See, you should respect others. See, standards on quality control means irrespective of the assignment that you are doing, no matter whichever assignment you are doing, maintain quality, maintain working papers, maintain your ethics, independence, integrity, objectivity. That is standards on quality control. Supervise your team, direct them. All right. That is standards on quality control. All right. So what is the purpose? It will just teach you the quality control measures to be adopted. It will just teach you the quality control measures to be adopted. Correct. There is one standard which they've issued under the SQC category. So SQC has one standard. Irrespective of the assignment, you follow these quality control measures. Okay. Then comes your favorite at interstial level. Yes. Standards on auditing. So standards on auditing. Come on, now let us participate and just solve some questions. So tell me, standards on auditing. It is applicable to all types of audit, option A, or option B, it is applicable only for audit of financial statements. Option A, applicable to all types of audit. Chat box, come on, use the chat box. Option A, applicable to all types of audit. Option B, applicable only to audit of financial statements. All right. And I am very shocked to see that I'm getting both the options. Some students are saying it is applicable to all types of audit, and some students are saying it is applicable only to audit of financial statements. And let me tell you, the ratio is 50-50. And now let me clear this basic point. Standards on auditing are applicable only to audit of historical financial information. That is your financial statements. It is the history that is being represented. No, it is the financial statements. All right. Let me tell you, standards auditing are not applicable to all types of audit. Although there are some basic principles in standards auditing which we apply in all types of audit, but standards auditing category is only for audit of historical financial information, that is audit of financial statements. Yes, sir. For example, when it comes to internal audit, there are standards on internal auditing which are issued by Internal Audit Standard Board. Then when it comes to concurrent audit, which is continuous audit of transactions in banking, mutual fund, insurance industry, there are separate guidelines, guidance note and stuff that is applicable. Correct. So please do not think that standards auditing are applicable to all types of audit. It is applicable only for audit of historical financial information, that is audit of financial statements. Okay. Now there are 38 essays in total, out of which, again, I'm repeating, 35 is the existing syllabus. 3 we are expecting to be applicable when the new syllabus comes into picture. All right. Standards on review engagement. Now, standards on review engagement deals with review of historical financial information. Basically, review of financial statements. Okay. Now, what is the difference between the word audit and review? See, both of them mean examination of financial statements. Then what is the difference between the two? Yes, do I have people over here who are into the audit of listed entities? Yes, anyone? Can you just raise your hand or give a thumbs up? Yes, whatever it is, can you just interact? Yes, so we have multiple students who are into audit of listed entities. Very good. So tell me, when you go for quarterly visits, you use the word LR, that is limited review, correct? Now, why do you use the word LR, that is limited review? Because can I say in your quarterly visits, no, you need to be frank with me. Tell me, in your quarterly visits, can I say you are very relaxed in comparison to the finalization, that is of the annual accounts? Yeah. In the quarterly visits, you do not have much of workload. But when it comes to the last finalization after March, all right, that is, my God, hell. Okay. And that hell you will experience in few months. But in quarterly visits, you are a little bit relaxed. Correct? Why? Because review is a moderate level of examination, whereas auditing is a very high level reasonable examination. Let me elaborate that in technical terms. All right. So everyone, what you will do is you will just leave 2 lines over here just for safety to complete the above chart. Okay. And then in the center, please write the word assurance. See, when I use the word assurance, what do you mean by that? Sir, whatever data client is giving us, we will examine that, give our opinion on the correctness of that data, and then our report will be used by various stakeholders. So that is the meaning of the word assurance, correct? So what is the meaning of the word assurance? Examining the data and expressing an independent opinion on the correctness of that data. Okay, that is the meaning of the word assurance. Now, there are 4 levels of assurance that you should be aware of as a chartered accountancy student. One is absolute assurance. What do you understand by the word absolute assurance? Sir, the word absolute assurance means guarantee. Tell me, in today's world, does anyone give a guarantee? No, sir. You have studied that at inter-say level also. All right. We do not provide guarantee. due to, there was one concept which you studied at inter-C level. You do not provide guarantee due to which limitations, beta? Inherent limitations, unavoidable limitations. You had studied something like time, cost constraints, and lots of points. All right. So we do not provide guarantee due to inherent limitations. All right. So absolute assurance is not something that we are going to discuss in this subject. Okay. Reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance, obviously, it is a high level of assurance. But not a guarantee. It is a high level of assurance, but not a guarantee. That is what we do in audit subject. So everyone tell me, no matter whichever audit report you have seen, I'm talking about the word audit report. No matter whichever audit report you have seen, tell me in the audit report, do you find this line? We hereby express our opinion to the best of our knowledge and information available with us that financial statements of the entity show a true and fair view of the state of affairs and profit and loss and cash flows for the year ended. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. We hereby express our opinion to the best of our knowledge and information available with us. So although we are not providing a guarantee, but we are working at the best of our knowledge and information available with us. And that is exactly called as reasonable assurance. All right. High level of assurance, but not a guarantee. So whenever I use the word audit, remember one thing. Whenever I use the word audit, means I am giving you which assurance? Reasonable assurance. But this much you have studied even at inter-C level. So before you doze off, my God, this is just inter-C being repeated. Let me go one more step ahead and introduce the word limited assurance. Limited assurance. All right. So anyone would like to voluntarily unmute for some discussion? Anyone? Or shall I just pick you up? Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Yes, tell me. So Vaibhav, if I say
Yes,
that
sir.
Vaibhav is a good person, correct? Statement number 1. And statement number 2, Vaibhav is not a bad person, correct? Which one gives you more comfort?
Sir, first one.
First one. All right. So everyone understands that first one gives you more comfort. So Vaibhav, this is exactly what happens in an audit report and a review report. In audit report, I tell you very clearly, we hereby express our opinion to the best of our knowledge and information available with us that financial statements are free from material misstatements. They are showing a true and fair view. But in a review report, I will tell you that with the limited examination that we have conducted, nothing has come to our knowledge which indicates that financial statements are materially misstated. Means, as of now, financial statements don't seem to be materially misstated. So instead of saying that Vaibhav is a good person, I am saying that Vaibhav is not a bad person. Okay? So I'm trying to say the same thing. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. I'm trying to say the same thing, but in a very limited assurance manner. So instead of saying that you're a good boy, I'm saying, okay, he's not a bad guy. Correct. That is exactly what happens in limited assurance. And why I asked for students who have audited listed entities, because the biggest practical example of limited assurance is the quarterly review of financial statements, which is done in listed entities. In listed entities, even if you are following stock market, you know this, that quarterly financial results are announced, but they are unaudited. They are just reviewed. All right. Because there is a very limited assurance on those financial statements. So when I talk about limited assurance, it is nothing but a moderate examination. A moderate examination, which is a lesser extent in comparison to audit, which is at a lesser extent in comparison to audit. All right. So whenever I use the word review, the first thing that should strike your mind is limited assurance. The first thing that should strike your mind is limited assurance. Whenever I use the word audit, the first thing that should strike your mind is reasonable assurance. All right. So I hope that listed entity people have come to know that why they are calling their quarterly assignments as LR, because genuinely there is a very moderate level of examination over there. And listen, whenever you are conducting review of financial statements, it is covered in SRE, Standards on Review Engagement. There are 2 standards over here. Okay. Okay. But let me complete this particular chart. So I told you assurance is absolute assurance, reasonable assurance, limited assurance. All right. And then there is no assurance. Just to bring you from 100 to 0. All right. So there is no assurance. There is no expression of an opinion. We are just assisting the client. We are just assisting the client, but not expressing an opinion. So whenever you are not expressing an opinion, that is just going to be simply a no assurance assignment. All right. There are so many consultancy assignments where you're preparing the data, preparing the accounts. Yes, so that is just no assurance assignment. Okay. Let us go back. Let us go back over here. Tell me, are you done with this particular chart? Yes. Okay. We go back. So standards on assurance engagement. Now, what is this standards on assurance engagement? Down arrow first, write down the description, then you will automatically understand. Correct? It is providing assurance on some specified information. But one thing is very clear, that it is other than the financial statements. So there are 3 standards in this. And all 3 are dealing with something different, but it is other than historical financial statements. Sir, for example, audit of prospectus. You know, when a company comes out with prospectus offer document, then a separate audit needs to be done for that, and that is covered over here. Audit of prospectus. If some students are there into IPO, FPO, assignments, and nowadays articles are into some different fields also, so you may be aware about this. So audit of prospectus or audit of projected financial information. You know, audit of estimated earnings. Yeah. So such kind of assignments are over here. But that when we get into this category, we'll come to know. So for the students who are going to go into new syllabus, for sure we'll have the discussion for this. All right. So audit of buyback of shares. See, sometimes Muskan, in practical life, you use the word audit, but maybe sometimes those are some due diligence assignments, correct? Where you have to in-depth investigate what has happened. May not at all be an audit nature assignment, correct? Okay. But that is specifically not over here. So standards on assurance engagement, assurance on specified information, but something different than the financial statements. Okay, but that when we get into the category, we'll come to know. So for students who are going to opt into new syllabus, for sure we will get into that category. But for the existing syllabus students, obviously this category is not for you. Okay. Now over here, SRS, standards on related services. Yes, Omkar, give me a minute. Standards on related services. Now, what is this standards on related services? Listen, you are a practicing chartered accountant. I told you that, will you please help me in the preparation of my accounts? Yeah, please. Okay. See, I have 10,000 debtors. I am confused with my trade receivables. Will you please help me in sorting them out? All right. So such kind of assignments get into SRS. Performing AUP, agreed upon procedures. As per client's requirement. Performing AUP, agreed upon procedures as per client's requirement. Example, preparation of summary financial statements. Preparation of summary financial statements. Or I can give you 10 examples into this, but you know what? I am currently in the introduction part, so I don't want to stretch it too much. Okay, preparation of summary financial statements. Everyone should be aware about the introduction. Huh? For the students who are into existing syllabus, they will say that, sir, we just have one SQC and 35 essays, so we should not talk about other standards. No, 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 no. Whatever I'm teaching in the current lectures is applicable for every single student sitting over here. All right. So SRS category, standards on related services, performing agreed upon procedures, example, preparation of summary financial statements. So there are two standards into this. There are two standards into this. Okay. But you know what? In this SRS category, listen to me very carefully for MCQs now. In this SRS category, there is no such assignment where I have to examine the data, express an opinion. That means I am not going to perform an assurance activity. Come on, everyone with me. I am not going to perform an assurance activity. Yes. Standards on related services. SRS category standards do not involve expression of an opinion. So over here, when it comes to no expression of an opinion, please write down SRS, standards on related services. Okay. So as you can see, 1 SQC, 38 essays, 2 SRE, 3 SAE, and 2 SRS. All of them, when it comes together, that makes your topic of engagement and quality control standards. Yes, sir. Okay. So I want a confirmation. Are you through with the notes up till here? Yes. So there is a doubt where they says that whether these standards can supersede any act which is relevant for that particular audit. A detailed answer for this doubt will happen in the third or fourth lecture, correct? But a short answer for this doubt is whenever we are performing assignments, all right, where audit assignments, where it is heavily governed by law and which is very much different from what is given in standards, correct? Then in that case, we do follow that law, but in audit report, we don't write that audit was done as per standards on auditing, all right? But that is a very rare case because the whole corporate industry never prescribes how audit needs to be done. Whether you go by Companies Act, Banking Act, Insurance Act, mutual fund industry, this for the whole corporate industry. Okay? In the laws and regulations, they never say how audit needs to be done. That is always given in standards. Acha, these laws, they always write what they need in the audit report. And that in audit report, we can always include as additional comments. But whether you bring in front of me Companies Act, Banking Act, Insurance Act, all right, most of the act which governs the most of the corporate sector, these acts do not supersede standards because standards tells you how to perform audit, and these acts, they talk about eligibility, qualification, disqualification of auditor, and reporting requirements. So normally we do not see any friction, that is the proper word, between these two things. But yes, in few assignments like cooperative society audit, trust based audit, we do see the friction, but that I will discuss later on. All right, so I've given you a short answer what needs to be done. Long answer I will give you later on. All right. Okay. Now, everyone, a little bit of English that I want to teach now. All right. Although you have enrolled for English course, your English is much better than mine. But audit vocabulary is something that I am proud of. Other vocabularies, you are very much, at a higher level than me. So let me just talk about this reasonable assurance and limited assurance in a little bit of detail. All right. So can you just write down, please, after this chart? When we talk about reasonable assurance, I'm going to write, please write down, everyone. We hereby express our opinion, comma, to the best of our knowledge and information available with us. That financial statements of the entity show a true and fair view, or they are materially prepared as per applicable financial reporting framework, or they are free from material misstatements. All of this is the similar level language. All right. But I will use the language which is mostly accepted in the corporate world. Financial statements of the entity show a true and fair view of the state of affairs as on year end and profit and loss and cash flows for the year ended 31st March dash dash. This is just a short framing of how we write our opinion. Actually, in audit report, it is much lengthier. We hereby express our opinion to the best of our knowledge and information available with us that financial statements of the entity show a true and fair view of the state of affairs as on year end and profit and loss and cash flows for the year ended 31st March dash dash. Okay. Now let us talk about this word limited assurance. Right now. With the limited review of financial statements, we have, there are various phrases to write this, because in corporate life that is possible that that you may be using a different set of phrase, correct, because there are multiple students from multiple firms, correct, so everyone may not agree with what I'm doing over here. They may be using a little bit of different English. All right, I will use the English which is mostly used in practical life. All right, I'm just using it to reflect practical life. Otherwise, what I was writing, that is also fine. With limited review of financial statements, nothing has come to our knowledge which indicates that financial statements are materially misstated for the year ended, and all of that goes on, correct? With the limited review of financial statement, nothing has come to our knowledge which indicates that financial statements are materially misstated. So I'm not saying that financial statements are free from material misstatements. I'm not saying financial statements are showing a true and fair view. I'm saying that as of now, nothing has come to our knowledge which indicates that financial statements are materially misstated. That means, Pragnesh, financial statements are free from material misstatements, right? See, I will just tell you that as of now, they are not materially misstated. Correct? That means they are free from material. No, that I will not say. For that extra money, extra work, all right, because that is audit assignment. This is a review assignment. All right. So don't expect too much from me. Expectations will hurt, man. Okay. Little bit of drama to just ensure that you are awake. So everyone, you are a good guy, reasonable assurance. You are not a bad guy, limited assurance. Now, I told you that I want to teach some English over here. So when I say that you are a good guy, that is a positive way of saying things, correct? That is why reasonable assurance is also called as positive assurance. This is just based upon the English grammar. There is no big logic behind this. I just say that, okay, financial statements are showing a true and fair view. Positive assurance. All right. Then, limited assurance. Okay. They are not materially misstated as of now. All right. So you're not a bad guy, right? Negative assurance. Negative assurance. Very important for MCQs. Be careful. Very important for MCQs. Okay. So come on, tell me. Standards on auditing. They provide standards on auditing. They provide P for positive assurance or N for negative assurance. Standards on auditing. They provide P for positive assurance. Standards on review engagement. They provide P for positive assurance or N for negative assurance. N for negative assurance. Standards on related services, SRS category, provides R for reasonable assurance, L for limited assurance, or N for no assurance. Nothing. No assurance. Correct. Sir, can you please let us know that what about this category SAE? See, in this category, there are 3 standards and all 3 are dealing with different things, correct? So I cannot give one uniform explanation for it. All right. So when you get into those standards, you will understand what is written in their reports. All right. Somewhat language is similar to auditing, but I cannot give 100% as a written statement that they provide reasonable assurance only. I cannot do that because all 3 standards dealing with 3 different things. All right. Sir, what about this category SQC? SQC is not dealing with any activity. No matter whichever activity you are doing, SQC says that these are the quality control measures. All right. So as simple as that. So we don't talk about that level of assurance that SQC provides because it is not dealing with any activity. All right. So I hope that up till now, everyone is with me. Okay. Now over here. Yeah. Everyone over here, please. Okay. So now leave a line and write down applicability of essays. So for the students who are attending live session because of some office work and stuff, if there is some problem, they have to leave by 8:30, 8:45. I can understand. Bangalore especially is very strict. All right. So if that is the case, if you are able to attend live, I'm nothing better than that. But if you disconnect from the lecture, then the recorded video of the lectures for the students who have enrolled, all right, they get it by 2 p.m., 3 p.m. or so, all right, on the same day. So you can recover it from there. Not to worry. Okay. So over here, applicability of essays. Now, when I talk about applicability of essays, see students, first we will talk about essays only. What is essays? Standards on auditing. First, all the discussions will be for essays. Then we will get into other categories. All right. So applicability of essays. Tell me, when you are conducting audit of financial statements of companies, corporates, companies, correct? Let me talk about companies. Do you think that you need to follow standards on auditing? Yes. When you're conducting audit of financial statements of companies? Of course, yes. Where is it written? Where is it written that you have to follow standards on auditing? Where is it written? Sir, Companies Act 2013. Sir, Section 143, subsection 9 and subsection 10 of Companies Act 2013. So the equation is settled. When I talk about audit of financial statement of companies, the equation is very much settled, not a problem at all. But let me give you this example. Let us say that you have been voluntarily appointed as an auditor of financial statements of a partnership firm. You have been voluntarily appointed as an auditor of financial statements of a partnership firm, where the partners want to get their financial statements audited so that they can pitch it to the investors and the bankers for loans. Now, when voluntarily you have been appointed as an auditor of financial statements of the partnership firm, do you think that you need to follow standards on auditing? Do you think that you need to follow standards auditing mandatorily? Yes or no, sir? Y for yes and for no. Yes, come on, everyone. Participate. So some students are saying yes, some students are saying depends on the engagement, some students are saying no, not mandatorily. All right, so there is the confusion. Okay. Now let me tell you, auditing pronouncements which are issued by the ICAI, the standards, the book of standards, which is called as auditing pronouncements. There it is issued under the authority of the Council of the ICAI, which is the highest decision-making body of the ICAI, authorized under C Act 1949. And it is the council which issues the standards, and there it is written that these standards on auditing will be applicable to audit of financial statements of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Do you remember that this was the definition of audit at inter-CA level, the first discussion that you do? Yes, auditing is an independent examination of financial information of an entity, whether profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon. Yo, where is that definition given? Inter-CA module. Array, what inter-CA module? That definition is given in the auditing pronouncements. Why it is given in auditing pronouncements? To tell you that irrespective of the entity, whether profit oriented or not, you must follow the standards on auditing. Oh, so everyone over here, when it comes to applicability of essays, when it comes to applicability of essays, when you are conducting audit of financial statements of companies, it is so simple. It is mandatory to follow essays. Where is it given? Section 143, subsection 9 and subsection 10 of Companies Act 2013. Okay. But when it comes to audit of financial statements of other entities, whether it is voluntary, statutory, whether it is voluntary, statutory, it is mandatory to follow essays. Where it is given as per preface to the auditing pronouncements. As per preface to the auditing pronouncements, it is mandatory to follow essays while auditing financial statements of an entity. Whether profit oriented or not, and irrespective of its size or legal form. Whether profit oriented or not, and irrespective of its size or legal form. Okay, for companies, I have written section 143, subsection 9 and subsection 10 of Companies Act 2013. Okay. Okay. Now here, that doubt which was asked by Ganesh was very good. All right. So is Ganesh still there? Yeah. That, sir, what if we are conducting audit of financial statements of such entities which are heavily governed by law, and we have been instructed by the regulatory authority on how to conduct audit of these entities, correct? That happens, let me tell you, in practical life, that happens in the case of cooperative societies. That happens in the case of government entities where the audit is heavily governed by the instructions of CHE. All right. So in that case, we do the audit as required by law, but in audit report, we don't write that audit was conducted as per standards on auditing. But this concept I will teach you when I'm teaching the concepts of audit report. I cannot give a note for it over here, but that is a very exceptional thing. All right. And that we will discuss when the concept of audit report will come out. But that was a good doubt asked by Ganesh. Okay. Now everyone over here. Please leave one line and write down. Okay, so this is going to be around 10 to 12 lines chart. Okay, so please ensure that you have that much space, or you should have the ability to write in 2-3 lines and then connect it to the next page. Okay, leave one line and write down authority attached to the documents issued by the ICAI. Now, ICAI comes out with so many publications sometimes, Sometimes they will say they have issued statement for something. Sometimes they will say they have issued guidance note for something. This was one of the favorite concept even of inter-CA level. So if you remember the summary also, it is good. But I will not assume that you remember anything of inter-CA. All right. So authority attached to the documents issued by the ICAI. Now, many a times, okay, I'm not going too much to the textbook markings today because I don't think everyone has the book. Some students have enrolled late or something here and there. All right. A little bit of textbook marking I will do, but not too much. So authority attached to the documents issued by the ICAI. Sometimes ICAI comes out with something called as statements. Sometimes ICAI comes out with something called as guidance notes. Now let me check your knowledge at inter-CA level. So tell me, whenever ICAI website comes out with a statement, all right, then statements are mandatory, M for mandatory or R for recommendatory. M for mandatory or R for recommendatory. Obviously, it is M for mandatory. All right. Statements are always mandatory. Whenever you see statement on accounting matter, statement on auditing matter, if ICAI comes out with a statement, then it is going to be mandatory. All right. So statements are always mandatory. It is mandatory to follow the requirements. All right. But when it comes to guidance notes, guidance notes are R for recommendatory. All right. Yes. Can you give me the English meaning of the word recommendatory? So let us say if institute comes out with a guidance note on, let us say, guidance note on audit of inventory or whatever it is, correct? Now some guidance note on some explanations, some guidance note on how to evaluate internal controls. So when I talk about recommendatory, that means normally we are supposed to follow it. In ordinary situations, we are supposed to follow it. In exceptional cases, we may follow our own judgment if we have valid reasons to do so. That means if you decide not to follow the guidance note, listen to me carefully. If you decide not to follow the guidance note, then you should have documented valid reasons to do so. All right. So recommendatory, the English meaning of the word recommendatory is somewhere on the top of the page, if you can write down. The English meaning of the word recommendatory is yes, normally if I just say it is, Amit has given a very good line, it is advisable to follow. But Amit, if you go by only this line, then you may commit mistakes. It's not just advisable to follow. Normally you should follow it. Only in exceptional cases you are allowed to follow your own judgment. That also if you have documented valid reasons for it. So ordinarily, we should follow guidance note unless we have valid reasons to follow our own judgment. Yes, ordinarily we should follow guidance note unless we have valid reasons to follow our own judgment. Okay, that is the meaning of the word recommendatory. Sir, can you please elaborate with more examples? Students, this is just an introduction lecture. I'm going to come up with these statements, guidance notes. We are going to discuss something about it, but I'm preparing you for that discussion, correct? So currently, if I go too much into it, then there is a problem. Currently, I want you to remember like a formula style. Then when we get into it, you will see it practically with examples, what I was trying to say. All right. So whenever I use the word guidance notes, you will say recommendatory. That means ordinarily we should follow unless we have valid reasons to follow our own judgment. If we think that our valid reasons will give more better results, then you can follow your own judgment. But you know what? Sometimes institute comes out with a guidance note and in the first page, it writes that this guidance note is mandatory. Oh, that happens in very, very rare cases. Yes, but it does happen. Okay. So it is always important to read the first page of the guidance note. That is the preface. If nothing is mentioned, then by default, guidance notes are recommendatory. But if they have written mandatory, then we will have to follow it. All right. Compulsorily. So what is the perfect English to describe guidance notes? Guidance notes are recommendatory. Guidance notes are recommendatory unless otherwise specified by the ICAI. And listen, all of this is exam oriented knowledge, huh? Because all of this is there in the first few pages of the module. So guidance notes are recommendatory unless otherwise specified by the ICAI. So come on, everyone, give me the meaning one line. Give me the meaning to me in one line. Statements are mandatory to follow the requirements. Guidance notes are recommendatory unless otherwise specified by the ICAI. One more time. Statements mandatory to follow the requirements. Guidance notes recommendatory unless otherwise specified by the ICAI. All right. Now listen to me. Sometimes ICAI issues a statement on accounting matter. Sometimes ICAI issues a statement on auditing matter. Similarly, sometimes ICAI issues guidance note on accounting matter. Sometimes ICAI issues guidance note on auditing matter. Write down, write down. Now what I'm going to write, it is common sense. You will automatically write on your own also. Okay. Statement on accounting matter. Let us first discuss about this. If institute comes out with a statement on accounting matter, then it is whose responsibility to follow this statement? Come on, preparation and presentation of financial statement is the responsibility of M for management, correct? Obviously. So statement on accounting matter, will you understand this English now? Statement on accounting matter. It is management's responsibility to comply with such statement. Today, I'm not doing too much discussion of exams and questions and stuff. I'm just brushing up some concepts which will help me. So it is management's responsibility to comply with such statement. All right. Then what is auditor's responsibility? To check whether management has complied with such statement or not. Auditor's responsibility is to examine compliance with such statement. Auditor's responsibility is to examine compliance with such statement. And if management has not followed this statement, then boss, that is a non-compliance. Obviously, somewhere in the audit report, it will be highlighted. Sir, where exactly it will be highlighted? In which paragraph of audit report? That I'm not saying right now. But somewhere it will be highlighted. That is common sense. All right. So we know this very well. I'm just using different things so that you can differentiate where I'm writing as of now. You need not change the ink so many times. Okay? So we know this, that non-compliances need to be highlighted in audit report. Non-compliances need to be highlighted in audit report. I'm just writing what you're already aware of. We are just putting things on record. All right. Non-compliances need to be highlighted in the audit report. Okay. Done? Okay. Now statement on auditing matter. All right. So statement auditing matter, it is whose responsibility to comply with such statement? Obviously, auditor's responsibility. It is auditor's responsibility to comply, because I don't have space, so I'm using too much of short forms. But at finance level, people do understand this. So auditor's responsibility to comply with such statement. Okay. If there is a non-compliance with such statement, my God, if there's a non-compliance with such statement, correct, then the auditor will be held guilty under Chartered Accountants Act 1949. That I will discuss when I'm in the chapter of professional ethics. But yes, somewhere this will be connected. All right. Non-compliance with such statement is an offense under CA Act 1949. Non-compliance with such statement is an offense under CA Act 1949. But now let us discuss some practical life. I don't want to discuss about this, but the institute is mentioning this in exams, and they have already started asking questions on this. So that is why I need to put it up. So during the pandemic, see, from someone had a personal loss during pandemic, I'm really sorry, I apologize, but institute is drafting questions based upon pandemic. All right. So that is why I need to put it up. During the pandemic, when it was announced, lockdown and stuff, we were approaching year end, 1920 year end we were approaching. And that physical verification of inventory and so much of stuff was going on at that point of time. So can I say all of a sudden everything came to a standstill? So do you really think that that was a situation where auditors were in a position to comply with all the requirements? Do you really think that auditors were in a position to comply with all the requirements? No. Can I say there were some unavoidable situations where auditor would have ended up not complying with the requirements? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. A very simple example. Like, we go for physical verification of inventory. But tell me, for 31st March 2020, many wouldn't have gone for physical verification of inventory. In fact, no one was able to reach. Plus, few people were able to do it with some, video conferencing also. Few people were not even able to do that. But tell me, for the people who were able to do it with video conferencing, don't you think that it is a material departure? That means we are doing something different from the standard auditing practice. Yes or no, sir? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. So it is very much possible that we did something different, which was not prescribed anywhere, but we did something different to achieve our objective. Now listen to me. You told me that from B point, you have to reach to A point. You gave me one route. You gave me one particular route. All right, that from B to A, you have to go in this manner. You told me from B to A, you have to go in this manner. Now, let us say for some reason I was not able to take that route and I took a different route, but I reached A. Now tell me, I have not followed what you said. I did something different. Is this non-compliance? Tell me, is this non-compliance? Is this non-compliance? No. This is just material departure. Today, I want you to learn this English. It is very important for me. Whenever I use the word material departure, that means I have done something different to achieve my objective. Come on, everyone. Whenever I use the word material departure, that means I have done something different to achieve my objective. I want a confirmation. Are you understanding this? Yes or no, sir? Yes. So it is very much possible that due to unavoidable reasons, sometimes in case of, even though there is a statement on auditing matter, I may depart from it. I'm not allowed to do it, but I may depart due to unavoidable reasons. So tell me, at least institute will expect that you should highlight it in the audit report. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. From B, when I reach to A, after reaching at the point A, you know what, bro? I couldn't take that route which you said. I took a different route, but I reached the point A. That is what institute is expecting from you. All right. So now you will understand this English. Okay. Material departure. Departure is not non-compliance. Correct. Material departure. Should be highlighted in audit report. Material departure means performing alternate procedures, but materially different alternate procedures. No, that is material departure. Performing alternate procedures, but not violating the objective. All right. So this exactly, this is the prescribed route, and this is the route which you have taken. So this is material departure. Okay. All of this is going to help me a lot when I'm teaching you the topic of standards, Okay. Tell me, normally in my initial lecture for the first 15-20 minutes, I also talk about paper pattern. But since there are so much of changes, I'm not talking too much about paper pattern. But broadly, your paper pattern is going to be 30 marks MCQs and 70 marks descriptive. And have you heard about this integrated case study based MCQs, where they will combine various concepts and they will put it in exams? Yes. Trust me, at inter-say level, we have integrated case study based MCQs only for namesake. At final say level, they will show you the real flavor of integrated case study based MCQs. And you know what? These things, whatever I'm teaching over here, if you don't follow this, if you don't remember this, you will struggle in the chapter of professional ethics, which is of 16 marks, which is fully scoring, where you can score 16 on 16. Things are connected. So please ensure that you are focused from this very moment. All right. Again and again, I'm not going to advertise these things. All right. But when you are learning audit with me, you will be a master of integrated case study based MCQs. Okay. Now everyone over here. Statement on accounting matter, statement on auditing matter. We have written our points. Now let us go to guidance note. Guidance note on accounting matter. Guidance note on accounting matter. So let us say there is some guidance note on some accounting treatment. All right. Now management normally should follow it. But if management has not followed it, correct, then they should have valid reasons for that. So tell me, if management has valid reasons for not following the guidance note, because it leads to better presentation of financial statements, then are you okay with it? As an auditor, are you okay with it if management is not following the guidance note, but they have valid reasons to do so? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. All right. So I'm okay with it. So I'm just going to put it down over here. Auditor should examine whether there are valid reasons if management has not followed the guidance note. Now listen to me. If management has not followed the guidance note and there are valid reasons, then institute is not forcing you to disclose that in the audit report. See, I'm comparing with this statement. Over here, look at this line. In case of statements, when management did not follow the statements, correct, then in that case, auditor was asked to highlight that in the audit report. But if management is not following guidance notes and management has valid reasons for it, do you really think that as an auditor, I need to compulsorily highlight it in the audit report? No, sir. See, voluntarily, if I want to highlight it in the audit report, I may. But compulsorily, no. All right. So please focus on what I'm going to write. Departures from guidance note may or may not be highlighted by auditor in his audit report. Departures from guidance note may or may not be highlighted by auditor in his audit report. One more time. Departures from guidance note may or may not be highlighted by auditor in his audit report. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, everyone over here. Guidance note on auditing matter. Okay. Very simple. I'm just going to write one line. Auditor should ordinarily follow the requirements of guidance note unless there are valid reasons to follow his own judgment. Auditor should ordinarily follow the requirements of guidance note unless there are valid reasons to follow his own judgment, and that he need not highlight it anywhere in the audit report. Auditor should ordinarily follow the requirements of guidance note unless there are valid reasons to follow his own judgment. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. So in the textbook, we'll now mark something from the textbook. In the textbook, what we see is in the first few pages, I've just given some introduction and basic concepts and stuff. All right. Because it is very important to do it. Now, this introduction, what you see over here, they have typed it in the module also. All right. Now, the first point itself, I don't think that they will ask this in exams, correct? So I'm not going to mark it very important for exams and stuff, correct? But they have given a little bit of history. I will just write that history one, in a summary over here. So this is little bit of history. I'm just writing it for your clarity. Even if you don't write it, it is fine. So let me talk about India and then let me talk about the global level. In India, the ICAI first set up RC. So what is RC? Research Committee. This research committee was converted into APC, Auditing Practices Committee. And then this APC was converted into AASB, Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. India. All right. Now at global level, we have, okay, you should remember this body's name at least, correct? At global level, we have IFAC, International Federation of Accountants. All right. This IFAC created IAPC, International Auditing Practices Committee. And this International Auditing Practices Committee created International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. Okay. Now listen to me. The ICAI is a member of IFAC, International Federation of Accountants. So all global, all the bodies of these different countries, whether you talk about American Institute of Certified Public Accountants or Canadian Institute of Chartered Accountants, all right, we are all members of IFAC, International Federation of Accountants. All right, so we follow their requirements, all right, and we follow their framework. Okay, so everyone, this is what you're going to see over here. I'm going to go with a very fast reading, all right, because this does not require too much of time. After that, I want to discuss a nice concept. So Council of the ICI set up a research committee. Then research committee RC, for the first time, they issued statement on auditing practices. Then 1977, International Federation of Accountants came into existence. They formed IAPC, International Auditing Practices Committee. They issued international standards on auditing. All right. 1982, Institute also felt jealous. We just have a research committee. They have International Auditing Practices Committee. So Institute converted their research committee into Auditing Practices Committee. Correct. And they issued statement on standard auditing practices and guidance notes. Then in 2002 July, because International Federation of Accountants created IAASB, so like how we follow Western culture and everything, we felt, oh my God, they created IAASB. We will also create AASB. All right. So ICI converted APC into AASB, and then they came out with auditing and assurance standards, which are now known as engagement and quality control standards. But let me give you a good news for your career also, that these standards which you are studying as of now, they are in line with international standards. So if we have SA 200 overall objective, even ISA, International Standard Auditing 200, is overall objectives of independent auditor. And because of that, you can pursue your careers in Canada, in Australia, all right, in England, in Ireland, because we have all adopted this international framework. Okay. That is why when you want to become a member of Chartered Accountancy over there, these institutes have have a MOU with each other, due to which you can clear 1 or 2 papers in these countries and become their member of Chartered Accountant also. So that is why. So you are basically studying an international topic from a Desi faculty. Okay. Sorry, that was too much. So everyone over here, 1.2. IAASB. My God. Who is this IAASB? Come on, you know it already. I'm just going to read it very quickly. IFAC board has established IAASB to develop an issue in public interest and under its own authority, high quality auditing standards. IAASB functions as an independent standard setting body. Hey, tell me everyone, are you clear with this? Any confusion? No, na? This is just factual information. Huh? That is why I'm going fast. Okay. So in such factual information, if you are not clear, you need to stop me over there. Okay. ICAI is a member of IFAC and is very much committed towards implementing the guidelines of IFAC. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Here we need to go slow. These are all 4 mark questions. 2 couple of 4 mark questions. All right. Okay. Now let us talk about AASB. Don't get bored now. This is where institute will catch you. AASB, Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. What is their scope and function? Hey, come on, man. Come on. You can just write it on your own. Come on. AASB, what will be their scope and function? Auditing and Assurance Standard Board will find out where standards are required. Correct? Then they will develop standards. They will issue standards. Then if there are amendments required, they will keep on updating it. They will issue statements, guidance notes. Correct? Obviously, this is issued under the authority of the council. But come on, man, you can just write it on your own. Standards, they will develop. First, they will find out the need, they will develop, they will issue it, they will keep on revising it. Not only standards on auditing, but standards on review engagement, assurance engagement, standards on related services, statements, guidance notes. Come on, man, you can write 5 to 6 points on your own. All right. So look at this. The main function of AASB is to review the existing auditing practices in India and to develop the standards. Okay. While formulating the essays, AASB will take into consideration international standards plus Indian laws. All right. So it will take into consideration ISAs plus Indian laws. Essays are issued. Listen. This is for MCQ. Essays can't be just issued by AASB. For essay to be notified, it requires signature of the Council of the ICAI. So essays are issued under the authority of the Council of the ICAI. AASB also issues guidance notes, and AASB has also been entrusted with responsibility to review essays at periodical intervals. So scope and function of AASB, this is a point that you will study from textbook, but after reading my introduction notes, so that it becomes very easy for you. Okay, so what you will do is, because I know that because I've given you notes, I know your nature. And that was even my nature when I was a student. Hey, he has given notes, bro. There is no need to read textbook. He has given notes. Notes. Okay, but you need to do some markings. Everyone over here, please come to this page, AASB. Scope and function of AASB. 4 marks. Textbook point number 2. Point number 2, page number 4. Okay. So even if some students do not have the textbook as of now, if they write this, then they can understand, okay, this is to be done from the textbook. Okay. Yes. Now over here, everyone. Procedure for issuing essays. This is very interesting. Not at all boring. It's like a flow chart. All right. So what is the procedure for issuing essays? First of all, AASB will determine the areas where essays are needed. So it will determine the need. Then it will prioritize the essays. All right. Then while preparing the essays, AASB actually forms something called as study groups. So what is this study groups? It is a mixture of chartered accountants from academic field, from industry, from CA practice. All right. So it is a mixture of chartered accountants from various fields. All right. Study groups constituted to consider specific subjects. In the formation of study groups, provision is made for participation of cross section of members of the institute. That means CAs from various field. All right. On the basis of the work of study groups, an exposure draft is prepared. What is the difference between the word draft and exposure draft? Draft is just for our internal circulation. Exposure draft is a draft which is published on a public platform. So exposure draft is published on the ICAI website and everyone is allowed to give their comments. All right. I mean, everyone means the members of the institute. So exposure draft of the proposed essay is prepared by the committee and is issued for comments by the members of the institute. After taking into consideration the comments received, the draft of the proposed essay is finalized by the AASB and it is submitted to the council of the ICAI. The council of the institute considers the final draft of the proposed essay and if necessary modifies the same in consultation with AASB, and then finally essay is issued under the authority of the council. So come on, can you give me the flow, please? Can you give me the flow? So first, see, I am writing this in the textbook. For students who don't have the textbook, they can put it down in their notes. All right. But I want people to study the textbook for this point. So come on. First, AASB will determine the need for essays. Then they will form study group. Then they will prepare exposure draft. Then this exposure draft is published for comments. Then exposure draft is finalized. Submitted to the council. And council will authorize the essay with or without modification in consultation with AASB. Very simple. 4 marks you can score easily. Yes. And tell me something, you know, you have these kind of MCQs. Have you solved such MCQs? In inter-C level also they were there, that please arrange in a proper chronological order. What should be the order of the above points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. So such kind of MCQs also they can put it over here. All right. So either it can be a 4-mark brief answer or it can be a MCQ asking you to arrange in a chronological order, in a sequential order. So this particular point can be asked in both ways, either as a brief answer or as MCQ. Tell me, are you done with this marking and with this writing? Yes. Okay. So some few points here and there we are winding up, you know. Procedure for issuing essays. Okay. Now over here, everyone, engagement and quality control standards for the students who already have textbooks. Engagement and quality control standards classification. For here, you have to write read with notes. Because this classification SQC, SA, SRE, SAE, SRS, I already gave it to you in the notes. Sir, what is the point from the textbook? Which point you have not taught? This particular point. The numbering system. Sir, why, sir? That you will understand only when I actually teach you the standards, correct? For example, you may be having a little bit of idea, that, at industry level, all the evidence-based standards, audit evidence, external confirmation, and all of that was 500 series. Then using the work performed by others was 600 series. And you may be remembering this. All audit report standards were 700 series, correct? Okay. So there is some logic behind these numbers. All right. We are basically using an international numbering system, but that you will understand when I get into those standards. As of now, I don't want to overcomplicate things for you. Okay. That is the only thing which I have not taught. This also I have covered it in the notes, difference between audit and review. This full point, I have covered it in the notes. So when you write notes, what does that mean? That means if you don't read the textbook and if you read the notes for that, then it is fine. All right. When I write read with notes, that means a little bit of glance at textbook is required. Otherwise, majorly you can do it from the notes. Because this is the first lecture, so I'm explaining you the meaning of everything. Because what happens during the day of exams? What about the notes? From where am I supposed to study? Textbook or notes? And this and that. And there's too much of confusion. I don't like that. If you are with me, you will see that I'm already ready till the end. I've given you, I don't know whether you have joined my Telegram group or not. I've given you the Telegram group link also. Okay? When you took admissions with me. Just go to that Telegram group. You will see how I've supported May 22, November 22 students. All right. And May 23 preparation strategy has been given. There are revision notes, revision videos, last day revision, last 1.5 day strategy. Everything is there. But if you don't stay connected with me, then I am helpless. Correct. But if you stay connected with me, right, then you will get the benefit till the day of your exams. Okay. Now, authority attached to the documents issued by the ICAI. Look at this fifth point. Authority attached to the documents issued by the ICAI. Statements and guidance note. Please write down notes now. You have written in great details in the notes. Okay. This point I have just written over here as a reminder that this can be asked in audit exams. Applicability of accounting standards and Ind AS, but obviously you will do this from FR paper. But never forget the applicability part of accounting standards and Ind AS. And at any point of time, they can put it up in audit paper also. Applicability of standards and auditing notes. Okay. These points in 7.5, they are just giving some references from Chartered Accountants Act 1949 that if you don't follow essays, under which clause you will be held guilty. All right. Hey, tell me, have you gone through that press notification? I think it was what, 11th or 12th December, where ICAI, I think, removed 11 chartered accountants. 11 or 10, what was that number? They terminated the chartered accountants. Have you gone through that? Amrapali statutory auditors, Amrapali company statutory auditors. I had uploaded it on my social media accounts also. Yes, you will see that these references they have used over there. Right? But all of this you will understand in professional ethics notes. Let's write down there PE notes. Okay, professional ethics notes. All right, so some introduction points were done. A couple of points I did it from the textbook, and for that also I've given the markings and the notes. All right, now we are going to get into this particular thing, basic concept to learn essays. You know what? Whenever you want to start with ABC, whenever you want to become an expert of English language, it is so important, all right, that you should know the ABCD. Right? Only then you can become an expert of English language. Accordingly, if you want to become the supreme master of standards in auditing, it is important that you should learn some concepts. All right. And that is why I have this specialty where I teach basic concepts. So we will be discussing few concepts from different essays. I'm not officially starting with standards, but few points, few paragraphs, which will help you to get an overall view of the topic of standards on auditing. All right. Because these words will be used multiple times in standards. So everyone in the notes, please take a fresh page and write down this essay basics. In the notes, please take a fresh page and write down this essay basics. Okay. So now everyone, the very first concept, I know that you have used this word so many times in inter-CA. AFRF. Yeah. Applicable Financial Reporting Framework. Obviously, I'm going to discuss it at another level today. Applicable Financial Reporting Framework. So what is the normal English meaning of this? That, sir, it is nothing but the guidelines that are applicable to the entity for preparing their financial statements. Now tell me, Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 is a format, and accounting standards are the accounting principles and policies. But when I combine Schedule 3 and accounting standards, can I say it becomes the applicable financial reporting framework for companies? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. Because when I combine Schedule 3 and accounting standards, then it becomes the AFRF of the companies. Correct. Similarly, cooperative societies have their own accounts format. Similarly, banking has its own accounts format. Insurance has its own accounts format. Some follow accounting standards, some follow Ind AS. All right. But whatever guidelines are applicable to the entity for preparing their financial statements, one more time, say it with me in English. Whatever guidelines are applicable to the entity for preparing their financial statements, that is nothing but what? Applicable Financial Reporting Framework. So can I just write it in simple words? Guidelines applicable to the entity for preparing financial statements. That is nothing but what? Applicable Financial Reporting Framework. Now tell me, everyone, financial statements are actually of two types. One is GPFS, another one is SPFS. General purpose financial statements and special purpose financial statements. Sir, what do you understand by general purpose financial statements? Man, whatever you have prepared at inter-se level, balance sheet, P&L as per Companies Act, which is applicable for the companies, which is used by all the stakeholders. The set of financial statements which are used by all the stakeholders. Come on, tell me, everyone, at inter-se level, the balance sheet and the P&L that you prepared, was it only for the management? Was it only for the shareholder? Was it only for a bank? No. Can I say it was for all the stakeholders? Yes or no, sir? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. So that is GPFS, General Purpose Financial Statements. So how do I write it in English? Financial statements prepared to serve common information needs. Common information needs of the users of financial statement, of all the users of financial statements. Okay. Special purpose financial statements. Let us say I am a corporate private limited company. I already have a financial statement prepared as per Schedule 3. I'm going to apply for a 200 crore rupees loan. The banker wants me to prepare a different set of financial statements as per their format, so that they can get the real picture. Now, this particular financial statement is being prepared only for that banker. So that becomes special purpose financial statements. So how do I write it over here? Financial statements prepared to serve specific information needs Of all the users? No. Of the intended users of financial statements. Over here, it was of all the users of financial statements, whereas over here, of the intended users of financial statements. Sir, general purpose financial statements, example, company final accounts. Special purpose financial statements, it could, any example you can write it over here. Example, final accounts as per the banker's instruction. I don't have space. Can you just fill it up over here? Final accounts as per the banker's instruction. Or final accounts as per some investor's instruction. All right. Okay. But obviously, when we talk about stat audit, statutory audit, that is always an audit of which financial statements? General purpose financial statements. Correct. So statutory audit, normally what you see is for audit of general purpose financial statements. In fact, the 35 standards, which are SA 200 to SA 720, that deals with audit of GPFS only, because SPFS is a very small and rare assignment, correct? So audit of SPFS is governed in SA 800, which is done at a later stage, only for the students who will go into the new syllabus. Otherwise, it is, you should always be worried about 200 to 720. All right. So everyone over here. Now I want to discuss further. Now what I'm going to discuss is very important for your exams. The general purpose financial statements, obviously they are prepared based upon some guideline, correct? Now there are two types of guidelines. Wait, it will take some time to understand, but you will love it. One is fair presentation framework, and another one is compliance framework. I will make it very simple for you, but just keep on writing. Fair presentation framework and compliance framework. Tell me, people who are into statutory audit of companies, it could be bank, insurance, any corporate sector. So normally these companies, they prepare financial statements as per the Schedule 3 and accounting standards or Ind AS, whatever it is applicable. But tell me, have you ever asked management to provide some additional notes to accounts, which are in addition and beyond the requirements of Schedule 3 and accounting standards? Do you ask management that please explain this in these notes? Na? Management will say, hello, but this is not required as per Schedule 3. I am still requesting you that please explain it in the notes because it is important for the better presentation of financial statements. But it is not required as per Schedule 3. Why are you forcing us? Go download Schedule 3. It is written over there that the disclosures in Schedule 3 are minimal disclosures. It is the responsibility of the management to provide additional disclosures for the information of the users of financial statement. This line is written in Schedule 3. Please also go to accounting standards. There is a basic concept of materiality. And materiality is nothing but anything that can influence the economic decision of the users. So when you are preparing the financial statements as per Schedule 3 and accounting standards, you are obliged to provide additional information beyond the requirements of the framework. Don't mess with the article. Come on. Have you ever faced this situation? Yes or no, sir? In a less dramatic style, but have you ever faced this situation? Yes. Yes. Hello. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When I am throwing so much of energy, at least little bit needs to come from your side. Okay. I know you are changing your clothes as of now, getting ready for office, but little bit you can type. Okay. You know why you are able to do this argument with the management? Because the company final accounts, Schedule 3, accounting standards, it is clearly written over there that the disclosures given in Schedule 3 and accounting standards are minimal disclosures. That means that much should be done for sure. And additional disclosures should be given by the management to achieve fair presentation. To achieve fair presentation. Schedule 3 and accounting standards are the biggest examples of fair presentation framework. Which framework? Fair presentation framework, where the framework is not just focusing on the mandatory disclosures, but the framework is also putting an additional responsibility on the management to achieve fair presentation. But tell me, anyone over here who has seen cooperative society accounts? Cooperative society accounts? Okay, come on. Do you live in a cooperative housing society where there's a secretary, treasurer, and stuff? Yes. Yes. Go to that secretary. Go to the secretary of your Gokuldam society and ask that person, please show me the audited financial statements and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Please show it to me. Yeah. You know what? You just see those financial statements. The worst form of financial statements. Because in cooperative societies, it is the registrar of cooperative society which prescribes the format, and the management is just expected to follow that format. That's it. Pure compliance nature. Pure compliance nature. There is no additional responsibility on the management to take additional efforts to achieve fair presentation. There is no such additional responsibility on the management to take some efforts to achieve fair presentation, because cooperative society accounts are purely just a compliance job. Which job? Compliance job. So tell me, are you understanding the difference between fair presentation framework and compliance framework? Yes or no, sir? Come on, everyone with me. Yes. When I say fair presentation framework, everyone needs to write down now. Everyone needs to write down. And let me tell you, the biggest dhamaka is still pending. Why I am teaching you this concept? Just wait for me to end this lecture. All right, fair presentation framework. Write down over there. It requires compliance with the requirements of the framework. No. Even Schedule 3 and accounting standards, they do require compliance. Obviously, yes. But what is the thing that differentiates them? And there is an additional responsibility on the management to provide additional disclosures beyond the requirements of the framework in order to achieve fair presentation. Even if you're traveling, please do not log out from this session. You're going to listen a very important thing at the end. There is an additional responsibility on the management to provide additional disclosures beyond the requirements of the framework in order to achieve fair presentation. All right. But when it comes to compliance framework, it requires compliance with the requirements of the framework. It requires compliance with the requirements of the framework. And there is no additional responsibility on the management to provide additional disclosures in order to achieve fair presentation. There is no additional responsibility on management to provide additional disclosures in order to achieve fair presentation. We will also write examples so that later on it does not confuse us. Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 plus AS or Ind AS. Compliance framework example: outdated, idiotic cooperative society accounts. I just hate that format. Cooperative society accounts. Okay. Now you know why we are learning this concept? Because when you are conducting audit of financial statements under compliance framework, I am repeating, when you are conducting audit of financial statements under compliance framework, you are not allowed to use the phrase true and fair view or presented fairly while expressing your opinion. Yes, eyes and ears wide open. When you are conducting audit under compliance framework, you are not allowed to use the phrase true and fair view or presented fairly while expressing your opinion. Why? Because the framework itself was not prescribed to achieve fair presentation. The framework was just of a compliance nature. And that is why we will also not use the phrase true and fair view or presented fairly while expressing our opinion. Go today, there is an open challenge. Go to the audit report of your cooperative societies where you are residing. Please ask your secretary or treasurer to share the audit report with you, and you will not see the phrase true and fair view over there. And that is how we link practical life with the concept. Are you getting my point? Yes or no, sir? Yes. Yes. Examples are all around you. You just need to observe. Okay. So that is why we are learning this concept. It will have a very big impact on our preparation. So students, for compliance framework, okay, you will put double asterisk and you will write down over here. In such audit report, we are not allowed to use the phrase true and fair view or presented fairly while expressing our opinion unless otherwise required by law. Tomorrow, if the law of cooperative society says that we will have to use this phrase, then we will use that phrase. No, because we don't mess up too much with our business. Unless otherwise required by law. All right. Okay. Done. Done. Yes. Can we just read it from here? Just one minute. Concept of applicable financial reporting framework. The financial reporting framework adopted by management and where appropriate. Hey, you remember this line? You remember this phrase, those charged with governance? Who are those charged with governance? In case of a companies, if I want to say directors, audit committee and stuff, basically finally who are accountable for that entity, the final accountable authority of that entity. Hey, listen, some people have this misunderstanding that in small entities, there is no one called as those charged with governance. No. In small entities, management, TCWG, everyone is the same. Like, let me talk about my entity, the venture that I am running, the Audit Academy. It's a small venture as of now. With your blessings, it will grow further. Correct? So here I am the management, I am the TCWG, everything. I am the person looking after the things. But in bigger companies, you see the differentiation between management and TCWG. All right. That you will come to know when we discuss also. The financial reporting framework adopted by management and where appropriate, those charged with governance in the preparation presentation of financial statements. Whatever financial reporting framework they are adopting, it should be acceptable. Like, if Tirupati Balaji Trust is preparing P&L account, it is not acceptable. There should be income and expenditure account. Correct? So it should be acceptable in view of the nature of the entity and objective, or that is required by law or regulation. Okay. Auditor needs to understand the nature of financial statements. One is general purpose financial statements. Another one is special purpose financial statements. General purpose financial statements, we have fair presentation framework, compliance framework. Okay. So over here, you can now write down notes and listen to me. Again, I will repeat this concept. Plus audit report concept, SS 700. I'll be talking about a little bit more detail when I get into SS 700 discussions, because there exactly I will help you with the drafting of audit report. Your final objective is that when you're attending my lectures, once my lectures are over for standards, you should be able to, you should be in a position to understand every single line of Reliance Industries Limited audit report. If you are able to understand that and connect it with the standards, your audit subject is done. All right. So when it comes to standards, that much at least subject is over. So fair presentation framework and compliance framework, you've written notes plus audit report SS 700, and special purpose financial statements and stuff, you already have it in your notes. Okay. So that is it with respect to the concept of applicable financial reporting framework. I want to teach more concepts. Please don't miss out this. Otherwise, you will struggle in the topic of standards, but that I will continue in my upcoming sessions. Thank you so much.